Don't say anything, okay?
Here we go. And now, the hottest and most sensual production in all of horse racing, the Lone Speed Show.
Brent couldn't be here.
No, I'm subbing today.
You are subbing. And who knows, this may be the only time you ever sub.
Maybe.
You may work yourself into a kind of a permanent gig on the Lone Speed Show.
Okay.
So, Susie Dew, my
Hi.
beautiful wife, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
For episode 2 of the Lone Speed Show. This is our Kentucky Derby show.
In our bedroom.
In our bedroom, because we don't have the Lone Speed studio
Right
now. Not to be confused with the Kentucky Derby preview show, which was the first episode. This is the Kentucky Derby show. Because now we know the full field, we know the post positions, we have the silks, we're going to know your pick soon.
I have 2 picks.
You have your top pick and your top long shot.
Correct.
You're wearing your Lone Speed shirt.
Hey now.
You're rocking it. I'm wearing my Country House shirt, which my buddy Troy sent me today.
That was really nice.
So I'm going to ask you some trivia questions here.
Okay.
Do you know who Country House is?
The Kentucky Derby winner.
When did he win the Kentucky Derby?
2019. And this needs to be ironed.
Yes. I got to come closer to you because we're not in frame.
Okay.
So Country House finished second in the Kentucky Derby in 2019.
Okay.
The horse who finished first, named Maximum Security, was disqualified because he basically freaked out when he turned for home and took out like 40 horses. More like 2 or 3.
40.
It was like 2 or 3. Nevertheless, he was disqualified and placed first. Okay.
Okay.
The last Kentucky Derby was in September. That was won by Authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you claimed you picked Authentic, but
I did.
You picked like 3 other horses, and Authentic wasn't really one. But we can get into that maybe later if we want.
Okay.
The reason I'm talking about this, the last time a horse crossed the finish line in the Kentucky Derby in first in the month of May was 2018.
Okay.
Okay, so it's been 3 years.
Okay.
It's been 3 years since a horse crossed the finish line first in the Kentucky Derby in the month of May and was declared the Kentucky Derby winner. That's kind of a worthless stat, kind of meaningless, but I thought it was somewhat noteworthy, and I'm tying that into the shirt that I'm wearing.
It's a nice
Country
shirt.
House.
It's a nice shirt.
I was a big fan of Country House. I hit the trifecta in 2019.
Wow.
I actually bet a horse named Spinoff to win. He finished like nearly last. But I had money on Country House, hit the try, and I won a lot of money. It was a big day. So what are we going to do here on the Lone Speed Show? We're going to go over the field.
The field is on dirt. I learned that.
Yes, because today you were unclear if the Kentucky Derby was on grass, turf grass, same thing, or dirt.
It's
You're learning.
obviously dirt.
You're learning about horse racing.
I am.
Okay, we've been together a little less than 2 years. You've watched me watch a lot of horse racing on TV.
Yes.
You've been to Tampa Bay Downs a few times.
Yes, I love that.
But you're still sort of new at the terminology and all of those things. Okay.
Yes.
But that's okay because you've been
I do
learning.
have handicap secrets though. I will share.
Okay. And people want to hear it.
They might.
And we're going to go over how you came to your selections a little bit later.
Okay.
But for now, I think what we're going to do.
Yeah, we got to get this going.
It is going. It's going great. We have like 30 minutes to film. Maybe I don't know how long it'll take 30 minutes. Probably less than 30
minutes. We don't want to
minutes.
lose people.
We're not going to. It's funny you mentioned that. About 700 people have clicked on the Lone Speed Show. And about 70% of them drop off after like the first 4. Basically, when I finish the Michelle You Dress story,
I know. I love that story.
Is when they stop watching. But about 25% of them made it through the whole thing.
Well, I feel like maybe I should give my. I know you don't want me to give my picks first, but I hope people stay so they can hear my picks, so that when I win.
I think they will. No, they will. They will for sure. Okay. So here's what I've got. So what you're going to do is these are the silks for a lot of the horses. They're out of order. They're in no particular order. I'll just make them even more random right now. And what you're going to do
is
are
what the
jockey wears.
Jockeys are wearing.
Correct. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at this. You're going to read the horse's name, and then you're going to hold up the silk to the camera, which is right there.
I got it.
Okay. And I'll talk about the horses, and we'll save your thoughts to the end on the ones that you like.
Okay.
Does that work?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here's the first one. You say the horse's name.
Hot Rod Charlie.
Okay. Those are his silks. So Hot Rod Charlie won Louisiana Derby. Okay.
Very, very Vanna White.
Yeah. You look like Vanna White a little bit.
Sure.
Hot Rod Charlie won Louisiana Derby, trained by Doug O'Neill. Here is my main thought on Hot Rod Charlie. He's really good. He ran second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. Joel Rosario, a jockey you're very familiar with.
I have a slight crush on.
Do you even know what he, this is a serious question. Do you even know what he looks like?
Yes, I saw him once.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like, that's not like crazy here, but I have a thing.
Okay. Rosario could have ridden Hot Rod Charlie.
But didn't.
He chose to ride a different horse, which we'll get to a little bit later.
Okay.
To some people, that means nothing. To me, it means slightly more than nothing. And with 20 horses, sometimes you have to get a little bit creative because you can't bet on all 20. You've heard me say this before, right?
Right.
Can't bet all 20. You got to draw a line somewhere. You got to draw a lot of lines. And for me, the fact that Rosario could have ridden Hot Rod Charlie and opted for a different horse tells me that maybe they don't think Hot Rod Charlie is the horse they want to be on. He's really good. He's a win candidate.
Okay.
He's going to get heavily bet, but I am going in a different direction, and so did you. Who's next?
Super Stock.
Super Stock. What do you think of that name?
I mean, I'm indifferent. That. Oh, I see. No.
What?
My mind just went.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You tell me after the show. I have no idea.
It's inappropriate. Okay. It's Super Stock. I don't know. I don't know what the slogan is. I don't really.
Those are the jockey silks. Yeah.
I know.
Right.
I know. I don't.
Here's the thing on Super Stock. He won the Arkansas Derby. It was his second start of the year, I think. I have the PPs in front of me, but I don't have my glasses on.
Get your PPs out.
Pull out your PPs. That's
Pull
right.
out those PPs. I
think Super Stock is one that's just a notch below some of the others in here. No one else from the Arkansas Derby is even running in the Kentucky Derby. I just don't think he's done enough to warrant being considered among the top contenders in here. That's kind of my take on
Super Stock.
Yeah, so he's done.
You're done.
He's done.
Out.
No, don't put that down. That's the good stack.
I'm just going to throw it down.
That's fine. Who's
Okay. Essential Quality.
He's going to be the favorite. A guy named Mattress
favorite.
Mac. You know what the favorite is?
That people are betting him the most?
That's correct. Yes. Yes.
I got it.
Essential Quality is going to be your favorite.
Not my favorite.
No, not your favorite. He won the Bluegrass. A guy named James McInvale, known as Mattress Mac. Make sure the silks don't cover your pretty face. He owns a lot of furniture stores. Okay, listen to what he's doing. He already bet. I believe he hasn't. The betting hasn't started yet, but he's going to bet at least $2 million to win on Essential Quality. Okay, and he's running a promotion at his stores that if the favorite wins the Kentucky Derby and you buy furniture before the Derby, you get your furniture free.
Oh, cool.
I know.
We like that.
So he's basically buying an insurance policy by betting $2 million on the horse. Let's say the horse goes off at 2-1. He makes $4 million right there just on the bet.
Wow.
And then he can cover all the money he lost from his. Yeah, smart. This guy's a real sportsman. He's a good guy.
We like him.
Yeah, we do like. I do like James. Well, that's not. He doesn't own that horse, but he's betting on that horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still like that.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
That's Essential Quality. Here's the thing. The horse is obvious. He's done nothing wrong. I don't know that he's, that much better than the rest of the field. That's kind of my take on Essential Quality.
Okay.
I don't think he deserves to be 2-1. So I'll use him in some wagers. I'm not going to completely throw him off my ticket, but he's not going to be my top pick.
Mine either.
Okay.
Moving on. Soup and Sandwich. I'm sorry. Can I be honest?
Yes.
This name is bothering me. I don't like it.
Yeah. So if you go to Churchill Downs, which you've never been to, but we will go one day. That's where the Kentucky Derby is, at Churchill Downs. They have the names of all the.
Ready to go.
Do you really?
And some shoes that I want to buy.
They have the name of every Kentucky Derby winner that kind of goes or kind of around the paddock area.
Okay.
And they have these regal names.
Right.
There's a few silly names that snuck in there over the years, but Soup and Sandwich would probably be
the worst name in history.
It's got to be up there.
Is that just? I didn't know that was another opinion. I just thought it was my opinion.
No, it's pretty much everyone's opinion.
Everyone agrees with
he doesn't have
the worst name.
He doesn't have a Derby winner's name. As for the horse himself, he didn't. So there was an old what do you call it? A guideline in the Kentucky Derby, just a historical trend. That's a better word. Historical trend. No horse had won the Kentucky Derby without having raced at age 2 since like 1875 until 2018, when a horse named Justify won the. He would then go to win the Triple Crown. He didn't race at age 2, and it sort of seems like everybody's kind of forgotten about that historical trend. I'm bringing that historical trend back in, bringing sexy back, baby. That's
like
right.
JT.
Bringing it back. Who's JT?
Justin Timberlake. Be
Okay.
cooler. Be better.
Okay.
All right, we're done with him?
No, not yet. Because I'm going to talk about it. He's going to be. I think he's going to be up near the pace. He might even be the early pace setter. He's fast.
Is he a closer?
No,
I know what
he's
that
the
is.
opposite of a closer. He's going to
He
go
goes fast, but he doesn't finish.
Yeah, well, he's won 2 of his 3 starts. He ran second in the Florida Derby behind a horse named Known Agenda, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. I just don't think Soup and Sandwich is quite good enough to begin with. He didn't race at H2, so I'm not using him.
Okay.
Throw him away.
Okay. I'm just making sure we're still recording because the red light's not on.
It's the green light. The green light is on.
Okay.
It means record. Go ahead.
Keep in mind.
No, say it again.
Keep me in mind.
Keep me in mind. Yes.
Keep me in mind.
Third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. At one point was considered among the top. I should have silenced my phone. He was considered among the top 8 or 10 Kentucky Derby contenders, say going back 4 or 5 months. And his 2 starts this year have not been strong at all. He's a stone cold closer. I mean, he doesn't
finish. He gets to the end.
Yeah, right. He closes. He has a stakes win at Churchill Downs. He's shown some ability in the past, but he just hasn't shown much of that this year. And his last start in the Bluegrass was just not inspiring at all. So I don't think Keep Me in Mind is one that's going to be on my tickets. However, a couple of my buddies that I text with all day long said, that horse is interesting. So I wouldn't talk you out of him.
Okay.
But he's not going to be on my tickets.
Okay.
Okay, throw it away.
Throw it away.
Here's next.
Brooklyn Strong.
Brooklyn Strong won
Wicked Strong.
Right. No, Brooklyn Strong.
No, that's what it says right there.
That's his sire's Wicked Strong. His dad.
Oh.
Yeah. It's covering your face, babe. People are tuning in for your face.
Okay.
So. He won the Remsen.
Tuning in for your wit.
Okay. He won the Remsen at age 2. He's only made 1 start this year, and it was in the Wood Memorial. And it wasn't terrible, but he didn't. This is the thing about Wicked Strong. He didn't even record a published workout. Remember how horses, they practice in the morning, they train. Well, there's people out there that time them and they record them and all that stuff. And he didn't even have a workout until late February of this year. So to me, he's trying to make it to Kentucky Derby off of 1 race and whatever, probably, I should know this, 4 or 5, maybe even closer to 6 months, whatever it is. Yeah. And he didn't even start working out, didn't start training until late February, at least in terms of published workouts. Maybe training, off track somewhere. But I just think there are too many others that you can make a case for to take a gamble on something that seems like a real unknown to me.
Yeah.
So I am not on Brooklyn Strong.
Me either.
And you're not either.
No.
So, okay. Done. Out. Who's next?
Like the King.
Like the King. Winner of the Jeff Ruby Stakes, which on a previous...
I don't even know what that is.
It's a race. So there's a restaurant called Jeff Ruby's. And you get a steak restaurant. I think they have other places too.
Okay.
You know how horse races are called the stakes race, like the Bluegrass Stakes? Well, that's spelled Stakes. Steak is spelled Steak. So this guy who owns this restaurant sponsored the race and called it the Jeff Ruby Stakes.
Ooh.
Very clever. It is clever. Yeah. Great marketing tactic.
Very good.
And I may refer to the race as the Jack Ruby Stakes at one point. Jack Ruby, of course, the person who murdered Lee Harvey Oswald.
Well, we saw that.
Yeah.
We were in
Dallas,
yes.
Dealey Plaza. Yes, good memory, babe.
I know.
You got a great memory. So Like the King won the Jeff Ruby Stakes. He's done a lot of good things on turf and on synthetic. His dirt races have not been strong. Wesley Ward, his trainer, I don't think would be entering him here if he didn't think the horse belonged. And you can argue that he belongs just because he doesn't mean he's going to because he belongs, then he's going to win. Right. I'm not using Like the King.
Me either.
Okay. Toss. Who's next, babe? Bourbonic.
I like the cute shirt.
The silks.
The silks.
Those are Calumet Farm silks. Calumet Farm used to have different silks, historical. They were like this shade of red with navy blue stripes and stuff.
You sure know a lot of trivia.
I mean, there's people who know way more than me, believe me. Tons. But Calumet sold those silks to this other racing entity. So this guy, the guy who owns Calumet, I think it's Brad Taylor, I think is his name, or I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Brad something, I think. Anyway, whatever. He owns Calumet, designed the new silks, and those silks. So, quick story.
Oh.
Yeah, this is about you. This is about you though, so you'll like this story.
Is it about a girl in a dress that's not me? No, not that story?
No.
We love that story.
It's about our wedding day when a horse named Sha Sha Shake Me Up won at Oakland at 50-1.
Yes, but you're focused on us.
I was focused on our very special day.
At the UPS store.
Yes. No, not that was a couple days earlier. Our wedding day.
Oh, okay.
The actual wedding day.
In the backyard.
Correct.
With the kids.
Right.
It was so cute. So cute.
But Shaw Shake Me Up is owned by Camet, wore those same silks. And then do you remember when we celebrated our anniversary down in Winter Park, and I got upset because another bet I was going to make came in, but I didn't bet?
Yes.
That was Bourbon was the horse who won that race.
Unbelievable.
I know. And I decided
What are the odds?
2 days in my life, I've decided to let something take priority over horse racing. And
something, yes, in me.
Yeah, or our anniversary.
Okay.
Basically us. Our marriage. It's not just you, it's us.
Yes.
Bourbonic won the Wood Memorial coming from way out of it. I just don't think, if the race completely falls apart, which means they go so fast early, super fast,
then is maybe a chance.
Then crazy things can happen. If the whole race falls apart, anything can happen almost. Okay. But to me, Bourbonic is just not among the most likely winners. Let's move on to the next one.
Ooh, okay, this is fancy. How do you say this name?
Try it. I'm going to try it. You'll get it wrong. It's okay. I mean,
Mandolin?
That's correct. You got it.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. Juddmonte Farm.
And I like this shirt.
Juddmonte Farm silks.
Very 1980s colors.
World renowned. Yes. Mandolin. So here's the deal. Was among the Derby favorites at one point, going back a couple of months. He may have even been favored at one point. Ran a really bad race in the Louisiana Derby. Sorry, allergies. And no excuse was given for how poorly he ran. Workout observers at Churchill Downs the last 2 weeks have said that in his morning training gallops and workouts, etc., that he has looked better than anybody.
Ooh.
Which makes some people think, well, the Louisiana Derby was a fluke. Let's give him a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Let's forgive him for his poor effort and give him a chance in the Kentucky Derby.
We'll see what happens.
To which I say, I don't know that a horse can be ready for the Kentucky Derby off of that poor effort in the Louisiana Derby. That's kind of my take.
Okay.
I wouldn't talk people out of him. Some really good handicappers that I know and respect like him a lot.
Who?
People you've never heard of. And it scares me a little bit.
Scary.
But I'm not using him.
So scary.
Frightening.
I don't like this silk at all. Helium.
Winner of the Tampa Bay Derby. 3 career starts. Only 1 at age 3. To me, I just don't think he could possibly have the foundation to win the Kentucky Derby.
He's not even a contender.
In my opinion, he's not. What about you?
I've never seen, when I just skimmed over and he was off my sheet in a second.
You eliminated him immediately. You drew a line through him immediately.
I'll show you my method and you will be like,
okay.
You need a new method. All right. Midnight Bourbon.
Midnight Bourbon. So my buddy Steve DeCaspers.
I know him.
Had a you've never met him. You've heard you've met Steve Simonovich.
Oh yes.
Steve DeCaspers you've never met.
Okay.
But you hear me talk about him a lot. You hear me talk on the phone to him quite a bit.
Sure do.
He made a great point.
And Dylan Donnelly.
Dylan too. Yeah. Dylan. All part of Team LoneSpeed.
Yeah.
They'll all be in Vegas. Team LoneSpeed. Yeah. Which, by the way, they all want shirts.
I'm in.
So
yes.
Yeah. You'll get one too.
And hats.
Hats. I don't know about hats. Shirts for sure.
I'm getting hats.
Okay, back to Midnight Bourbon. So Steve DeCaspers made a great point, and it was exactly what I was thinking, but he phrased it so much better than I could have. Midnight Bourbon is the kind of horse that either gets to the lead like he wants to, and if he does, he burns himself out because he's not fast enough to go with some of these early, or he sits 5, 6, 7 lengths back because he's not fast enough to make the lead and doesn't know what to do with himself. Because Midnight Bourbon is a front runner / right there on the pace type of horse, okay? And the expectation of the Kentucky Derby is that there's just faster horses in there this year, and he's probably not going to be able to make the lead. Okay. Which means he's either going to make the lead and force himself and just get tired really fast, or be too far back and won't know what to do with himself, and he's either way, I'm not using it.
Me either.
Okay, good. Who's next?
How do you say this?
Try.
Obesos?
Obesos, I think is how you say it, yeah. There was a race that I was watching, Louisiana Derby, not too long ago, and I was yelling at the TV, and I yelled the F word when the race was over. And the reason I yelled the F word...
Which you never do.
Because I needed him to get up for second behind Hot Rod Charlie.
He got third. I
exactly.
Remember that.
Yes.
You were very angry.
I was extremely... Because he was a huge price. Was he... I'm embarrassed. Was he 28-1 in that race?
I don't know, but I remember that day. You were not pleasant.
Yeah, he was like around 30-1 or something, okay? And...
you didn't hear my joke.
I did. It would have been a lot of money to me. I mean, I had a big exacta cold, Hot Rod Charlie to Obesos. I think I had win money on it too. Nevertheless, yeah, it was bad. So here's the thing about Obesos. A number of people I know, again, love the horse. He's going to be a big price, 20 to 1 or more,
Okay.
unless he really is the buzz horse that people think he may be, in which case he could go off lower than 20 to 1. I have been back and forth on him the entire time.
Okay.
I immediately threw him out at the beginning and said he's a sucker play. He's a sucker bet of the century were the words I used. Then a couple days ago, I started warming up to him a little bit. I started watching more replays. I started looking. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, now
this horse might be there. And then today, another buddy texted me and said he's a toss, and I respect this guy. And so here's where I am on Obesos. I'm not going to use him prominently, but I'm not going to leave him off my tickets. My personal opinion is that horses like him are sucker bets.
Sucker.
Because deep closers, they just seem to always break your heart in the Kentucky Derby. And I just think everybody's on him, and I don't think everybody can possibly be right. So for me, Obesos is not what I'm going to be using prominently. He'll be on some tickets, but not all of them.
Okay.
You look way better. Look at your color compared to mine. I look like pink, or I don't know. You just look so tan and healthy.
Can't help it.
Look incredible. Who's next?
Sainthood.
Yes, Sainthood. So here's the deal. Todd Pletcher trains Sainthood.
Okay.
He also trains the horse we're going to cover next, No Agenda. And he trains Bourbonic, and he trains Dynamic One.
Bourbonic makes me think of Supersonic.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
I can see that.
Go ahead.
That's called a non sequitur. I think when you blurt something out that's irrelevant with the conversation.
Sorry.
That's okay. Here's the deal about Sainthood. He didn't start at 2. I've been impressed by what he's done on the racetrack in all 3 of his races. And it's not going to shock me if he makes his presence felt late in the Kentucky Derby. He's ridden by a jockey by the name of Corey Lannery.
Oh, I've heard you say Corey Lannery.
Yes, you have. I have fallen into the Todd Pletcher long shot trap many times in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And my final analysis on Sainthood is I just don't think he's good enough to overcome the not having raced at age 2 thing. He also only has 3 career starts, like Soup and Sandwich, like Helium, like another horse we're going to talk about in a minute who I'm treating a little bit differently. But for me, Sainthood is out.
Bye, Sainthood.
And this is the last one of the horses we're covering here in this first segment. And his name is...
Crown Agenda.
I'm going to try it one more time, baby.
Known Agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, it's very... You don't have glasses on, and it's very small font. It's not embarrassing.
I need to get glasses.
You're doing great. You're doing amazing.
I keep saying I need to get glasses.
Known Agenda. Drew post 1. Post 1. Okay, so post number 1 has produced more Kentucky Derby winners than any other post. And that's not hard to follow that logic. I mean, it's closest to the rail, and it's been 147 or something Kentucky Derbies. It stands to reason that the 1 would produce its share of winners.
Okay.
However, no horse has won from post 1 since like the mid 80s. I forget what year. I want to say 86, but it's around there somewhere. And here's the reason for that. At Churchill Downs back in the day, when they had 20 horses, one year they had I think 24 horses back in the 70s. But the starting gate they had to use an auxiliary starting gate. The main gate holds 14 horses. Okay, they use a second gate which holds another 6 for a total of 20. When they have to use that auxiliary gate, what it does is it pushes post 1 all the way out. So if I show you here, you see where it says start finish there? Okay, well the start line is actually way before then. It's actually kind of almost in the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So post number 1, if you drew a straight line out of post number 1, you went right into the rail.
Oh.
Because the horse breaking from post 1 had to kind of veer in a little bit towards the rest of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Churchill Downs got a new starting gate, and I think last year was the first year. Instead of having 2 gates put together, it's just one big gate, which means there's more room for a horse breaking from post 1 to just kind of go straight and make it.
Okay.
It's still a little bit of a disadvantage. I need to move closer to you again. A bit of a disadvantage because all those horses going down the stretch, they've got a little over a quarter of a mile. Actually, a little more than a quarter mile till they make from the gate till they reach that clubhouse turn.
Okay.
And you have all those horses on the outside coming over, and a lot of times what happens is the horses down on the inside, they just get
sandwiched in.
Yes, they get a bunch of
sandwiched in.
Yes, that was good. They have to check and they shuffle, and it's just bad. Horse named
hit traffic, right? Hit traffic.
Yeah, Looking at Lucky was a horse who broke from post 1 years ago and was just out of the race by the first quarter mile, and he came back to win the Preakness. He had a terrible trip. Known Agenda, I don't think is going to have that kind of bad luck. I don't think it's not ideal to break from post 1, but I don't think it's a death sentence that it has been for the last 30 years or more.
Okay.
Having said that, I'm not a huge fan of Known Agenda. I'm not. I think he's good. It wouldn't shock me if he won.
Is he just okay?
No, he's pretty good. I think he's a talented racehorse. He's won his last 2 races because he had something called blinkers. So we've talked about this. Horses, that makes a horse more focused. Sometimes horses they look around and they get distracted. He's had blinkers on for his last 2 races, and he's really looked like a different animal. So I'm not going to be using him. Some smart horse players are going to be using him, but for me, he's a toss, and you're not using him either. Right?
Toss for me too.
Okay, so now we get into the fun part.
Yay!
Why don't you talk a little bit about how you handicap?
Okay.
And you can even talk about how you came to your 2 horses.
Okay. So what I did is you printed these out for me, my PPs. I got my PPs out, and the first thing I did.
You know what PP stands for?
Past performances.
Yes.
I've learned. Anyway, so you printed these out for me, and what I said to you is, I was just going to look at the names. I haven't heard you say anything. I haven't read any of these crazy numbers. I just want to look at the names first. Okay?
Okay.
And that's what I did first. And the first page, no. But I love King Fury. I love that name. And then, after I said, I'm picking King Fury for my long shot, not even knowing much about him, and then I researched him a little bit. I'm like, you know what? This is a good pick. I like King Fury.
So he's been one of the buzz horses this week.
And then yesterday, I was like, why is everyone talking about? I could hear people in the background, whatever you were listening to. Everyone's talking about King Fury. And I'm like, wait, that's my long shot. Why are people talking about my horse?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, there it is.
So you're on King Fury. He's your long shot.
He's my long
shot. And I don't
shot.
think we didn't do the Here's you gotta hold that.
There's dust on this shelf.
I know, it's disgusting.
There's King Fury and his silks. Ooh, so cute. So cute. I like it.
Cool.
Okay, there's that. Then I'm not done.
I know.
Okay, so then this is what I do when I break it down. I only know a couple of things here. One, I go down and I look at early, late.
The time form U.S. pace.
Early, late, and then I do my math. I average through and I look through. So what I did.
Not sure that's exactly how you're supposed to be using it, but okay, I'm with you.
That's what I do. I find my average. I look at the first page. I'm like, there's nothing on here I want. Forget it. First page, there's nothing.
Okay.
Then I went through and I starred the horses that I kind of like. And I also look at these bold numbers.
Buyer speed figures.
Yeah, those right there. And I average those out too. Okay.
When you say average, what do you mean?
I look at the numbers and I'm like, oh, he's like a 96, 95, 94. Okay, he's like mid 90s.
Okay.
That's what I do in my head.
Okay.
It's just math.
Reasonable.
And then so I starred Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie, which eventually I crossed off. I didn't pick him. And the last page I saw nothing I liked, so I got rid of that page because that was in my way. But I liked Rock Your World a lot. And then I saw that's who Rosario is running, and I love Rosario. But then I crossed off. I saw Velasquez Jr.
No, John Velasquez.
Whoever that is. Well, this is why I know this. So I was between these two, and then I'm like, oh, but Rosario is going to Rock Your World. And then you told me, yes, but the guy in Medina Spirit is the guy who won the Kentucky Derby last year.
Right, for the same trainer.
Okay, whatever that means. But that's it. That's who I went with. I'm going with Medina Spirit and King Fury.
You gotta hold up Medina Spirit silks.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you just said you didn't know what a trainer was.
I mean, I know what a trainer is, but I know what a trainer is. To me, I don't know what on these sheets. I'm gonna borrow yours for a second. I don't know where the trainers' names are on those sheets. I have no idea.
Okay, that's fair. So Medina Spirit is your top pick.
Yep.
And
King Fury
is your long shot.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. There's a very realistic chance that you could win a bet that you could hit for a lot of money in this race, and I might not hit anything.
I'm in.
So
I hope I win. I hope I win and you lose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to be betting a lot. You should actually hope for the opposite of that because
no, that's not true.
I'm betting substantially more money than you are.
I always want you to win, but I want to be able to gloat forever.
Okay. So let's talk about my 2 long shots. Make this dramatic. Start with that one.
Oh.
You forgot we still have 4 silks to go over.
Woo.
The horse's name is?
Dynamic 1.
Dynamic 1. Okay. So the Phipps silks, which I'm going to be honest. So Dynamic 1 is owned, as far as I can tell, by 3 different entities. And they rotate whose silk. So if there's 3 different owners, each owner has his own silks. And they take turns. So I didn't even know that the Phipps family owned Dynamic One. I knew they bred Dynamic One because the horses,
In the
legally
breeding
bred.
barn?
Yes, you're fascinated by the breeding barn. We should do a whole show about just the breeding barn.
I want to visit a breeding
You
barn.
can breed. It's not hard to do. You can visit
I
one.
think they should like wine tours there.
They probably do. I mean, it wouldn't
They
surprise
don't.
me.
They should. Okay.
Dynamic One. He ran, I thought, a really good race in the Wood Memorial. It wasn't fast. He didn't get a fast speed figure for it, but he was really wide and looked home free, turning for home in mid stretch or so. And I thought he was going to win, and he got run down by his stablemate, Bourbonic. I went back and watched his replays, and I think he's got a number of excuses here and there. I think Dynamic One, and by all accounts, he's trained really well this week. I think Dynamic One is sneaky. He's going to be in that 20 to 30 to 1 range. Dynamic One is one of 2 long shots that I'm using in the Derby.
Okay. There it is,
Don't
guys.
throw that away. We have to keep that one.
Keep that one.
Keep all the good ones.
Okay.
Okay. The second long shot I'm using is...
Hidden Stash, which that name I cannot.
What is it you don't like about the name?
It's just
Because
so
it's
creepy.
because it can mean
Hidden
a stash of things.
Oh, yeah.
Hidden. Oh, so stash.
Stash like a mustache.
No. Stash means
Stashes
like
are creepy.
a stash of illegal substances or a stash of something you're not supposed to have.
I mean, there's words I don't like, and stash is a word it's very creepy. It's a creepy word. I don't like it.
There was a guy in my neighborhood growing up who had a stash of something else, and all the teenage boys wanted to raid that stash.
Oh, I know.
So stash can be that's what a
Okay.
hidden stash means. I don't think hidden stash is a hidden mustache.
Oh.
It's a hidden stash of something illicit,
Okay.
perhaps.
I get it. I mean, I get
Right.
it. That's not where my mind goes. My mind goes to a stash, which is very creepy.
So hidden stash, 2 wins going 2 turns as a juvenile, means as a 2-year-old, and that's not common. I mean, it's not unheard of, obviously, but you don't see a lot of horses win twice going a route of ground as a 2-year-old, and Hidden Stash did that. One of them was at Churchill Downs. Then he came back into Sam Davis, actually finished ahead of Known Agenda before Known Agenda had gotten blinkers. Ran an okay race, a good third, came charging late, and then in the Tampa Bay Derby was 3 wide into the clubhouse turn and then 5 wide around the turn for home. Followed Helium, who was also like 5 wide, and lost a lot of ground. Got a slow speed figure, which I think maybe you can upgrade given the ground loss. Were you gonna look at something?
I want to turn the light down. It's very bright and it's dark out. Can we just
Yeah.
just
I
down
think
a little?
do I press this button here? Is that good?
So much better, yeah.
Okay. Where was it? Hidden Stash.
Hidden Stash.
So Hidden Stash, I think, ran a pretty good race in the Tampa Bay Derby. He also got bumped twice in the stretch by Helium. Comes back in the bluegrass, is making a move into slow fractions, gets bumped by Keep Me in Mind at the top of the stretch and kind of stops his run, but does sort of keep going, just doesn't really keep advancing. I think Hidden Stash is the kind of horse that will keep running and keep running and keep running. And in the Kentucky Derby, so many of the horses just quit after a mile.
Okay.
And they got a quarter mile left to go.
Yeah.
And I think Hidden Stash is going to be behind a lot of those horses with a quarter mile left to go.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to keep coming. And who knows if the race completely falls apart. I'm talking like completely falls apart. I don't think it's impossible he could win. I think it's unlikely. I think he's got a real chance of running in the top 3 or top 4.
Okay.
So I'm going to use Hidden Stash. He's going to be a big price. I like him. I respect him. He's going to be on my tickets.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 2 left.
2 more. We're getting there.
These
How many more
are,
still here with us.
well, if they are, they are. If they're not, they're not. These are my 2 most likely winners. And the first
I
one
like
is
this one. Rock Your World.
Ridden by whom?
Rosario.
Right. So Rock Your World. No starts at age 2. His first start was on January 1st, so he missed having a start at age 2 by 1 day. Because every horse's birthday is January 1st.
Right.
Just for record-keeping purposes.
Breeding Barn, they write them down.
Yes, sure, babe. So Rock Your World didn't start at age 2. First 2 starts were on grass. They were both wins. They were both ultra impressive. Comes into the Santa Anita Derby for start number 3. Goes to the lead. Goes pretty quick early. Slowed down late. Wins the race by 4 lengths. And then gallops out like a freight train. So, a quarter of a mile past the finish line, he's like 20 lengths or so past the second place horse, who was Medina Spirit.
Oh.
So here's the thing with Rock Your World. If you told me that the winner of this year's Kentucky Derby wins by 5 lengths, I would say it's got to be Rock Your World. Rock Your World looks like he could be an absolute superstar.
And isn't he the one that had the early of 133 or something?
Oh, I think it was 123 time form U.S. early pace figure.
Mind if I look
No, I don't mind at all. Let's just do it and
Rock
not kill
Your
the
World
airtime. 130.
132. I
Yeah.
was right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so-
really fast.
Yeah, so he's projected by.
I was good.
That was kind of impressive that you
Because
knew
I was
that.
going between Rock Your World and Medina Spirit
I
because
know.
they both had those fast starts too that I like.
So I think Rock Your World, there's a chance he could be an absolute superstar. Joel Rosario could have had the mount on Hot Rod Charlie, but he chose to take the mount on Rock Your World, who at the time there was a different rider who was going to be on him, and they kicked that rider off and put Rosario on
Okay.
because they really wanted Rosario. So to me, that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I know why you like that horse. I almost picked that horse.
Yeah, you know.
I know.
You saw something too.
I saw it too.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I think he could be a superstar, and if he is, then he could run off and win the Kentucky Derby by a lot. The fact that he's only had 3 lifetime starts, and the odds are he's not a superstar. I mean, superstars don't come around very often.
Right.
The odds are he's not, but he could be, and I don't want to get beat by him completely. So I'm going to be using him. I'll be using him prominently because I respect him. I think he's ultra talented. Mm-hmm. But my top pick in the Kentucky Derby is
highly motivated.
So here's the story here.
Yay!
If you paid attention to the first LoneSpeed show.
Justin Dew's pick, guys. Here it is.
Did you pay attention to the first LoneSpeed show?
No.
You did? Okay. So do you remember? You know that I have a future wager of $500 on highly motivated at odds of about 26 to 1. Okay. So if he wins the Kentucky Derby, I'm going to collect a little over $13,000.
Ooh.
In the Derby, he's going to be on race day like 8 or 10 to 1. So I already got good value. I already made a good bet. It may not be a winning bet, but I got it. So if you watched the first episode of the LoneSpeed show, you heard me say that I didn't like this horse's chances. I thought he was going to struggle with a mile and a quarter. He ran the 1 1/8 bluegrass, ran a really good race, but it looked like he was really getting tired at the end, which is understandable because, sorry, I drank too much water. Understandable because it was the first time going 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
It was a new distance for him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was he changed to his wrong lead in the stretch, which is often a sign that a horse is getting very tired. He also moved out away from the rail.
Sometimes you'll yell, change leads.
Yes, you heard me. Yeah, you picked up on that.
I know
Good.
that is. Yeah.
I'm impressed. You continue to impress me. You might work your way into like a supporting role on this show. I'm not
Or
saying,
maybe just a guest star every now and then.
Yes, exactly.
Little cameo.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
We'll go with that. He was kind of getting out from the rail late, which is often also a sign that a horse is getting tired and it's reached the end of his distance capabilities. So I saw that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go a different direction. And I looked over all the horses. I watched so many replays, and I just said, you know what? None of the others really impressed me all that much. I mean, essential quality, undefeated, obviously very, very good. But I don't think he's that much better than the rest of the field to be, 2 to 1. So I can't play him.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Your World, there is that concern about only 3 lifetime starts. He'd have to be a superstar, which he may be, but I couldn't bet him with confidence. Medina Spirit, your horse, was almost my horse. And I just finally decided that he hasn't progressed enough.
That was my horse.
Was it really?
Yes.
Highly motivated was?
Oh, no. Rock Your World.
Rock Your World,
Sorry.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
yes,
you're confusing
we're on the same page.
We can't edit this. Just so you know, we can't edit any of this. So it's all going on camera and on film exactly as we're saying it now.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have been in the LoneSpeed
Unless you
studio.
like the way you look,
at
we're
Brent-
doing it all over.
No, it's not going to get any better than this. In Brent's studio,
Yeah.
the LoneSpeed, we could have just edited that part out. Highly motivated.
Well, I just messed up. It's not that big of a deal.
It's not a big deal at all. But I'm allowed to make fun of you for it, aren't I? Highly motivated is my pick. I'm not supremely confident, but the reality is I wouldn't be supremely confident in any of them. And I just think he's really talented. Where I said Rock Your World may end up being a superstar, I think if we look back on this Derby field a year from now, the one that we'll say is the best, regardless of who wins, the horse that will have the best career, the most talented horse overall, I think, is Highly Motivated.
Highly
Wanna
motivated.
hold them up one more time?
One more time.
So that's my pick. I'll do a pull out your PPs or some kind of pick 4 or pick 5 special to go over ticket construction.
Okay.
But the bottom line is it's going to be Highly Motivated in Rock Your World. It can be prominent. Hidden Stash and Dynamic One is my long shots. They'll also be on those tickets. You're going with Medina Spirit, and you like King Fury, who a lot of other people also like.
Right.
All right, babe. How long was this? Can you read that timer says?
I feel like 39
39
minutes.
Okay. I think that's
Glasses.
acceptable.
I think
Yeah.
we did good.
I think you did great.
Thank you.
You look way better on camera than I
Can I
do.
come back maybe every now and then?
I'm not looking like this, babe. I mean, you look way too good. I can't have you upstaging me. You know I don't like to be upstaged, right?
I know.
We discussed that.
You're the star of this show. We know.
All right. Bye.
Bye.